Good evening, everybody. सर्वांना नमस्कार. माझं नाव Srujan Kotum आहे. I'm sure everybody has had a good lunch, and I don't want to bore you all, but take your attention for more than 8 to 10 minutes, not max. Uh, I'm here going to be speaking about what bees really mean to me or my firm. Often apiculture, or I would say apiculture is not farming, right? Apiculture is beekeeping and it is not farming, right? And treating it like farming is one of the most quietest mistakes we've done all this while, right? So what we've done is we made something called as a solution. It's called Bee Wise. We call ourselves Friends of Bees. What you look around is one of our bee boxes, and a quick history of how a bee box like this, or why is it built, right? Everybody has seen a regular bee box, how a modern scientific bee box looks. Definitely not as close as this, right? The bee box was introduced in the Indian ecosystem in 18th century by a Reverend Langstroth hive. These hives are called Langstroth hives. It's a hive which is named behind Reverend Langstroth. So imagine the colonials get us bee boxes, a 150-year-old back, and we don't deserve to look at it and how good they are, what shape it is, and is it really fitting the Indian ecosystem. What we've done is we are a brand called Lay Organica, which started off in Meghalaya 10 years ago. We started off a brand with 13 to 14 SKUs. Honey and turmeric was one of our biggest SKUs. We enjoyed all the retail success. We had a brick and mortar in Shillong, and we were enjoying the brand success until the whole cluttered market of organic products came out over there. We wanted to pick up the most champion product, the most sellable product in our catalog, and honey turned out to be one of the most strongest product for us. What do we do next? We went out, knocked on Department of Science and Technology, Government of India's door. We wanted to set up hives. We wanted to get into research. We wanted to have our own apiary. We leased out a 3-acre land in Meghalaya, and the Government of India subsidized us with 50 bee boxes. Let me show you something what we got in return. So as you can see in your screen, right, these are some bee boxes that we received. Right, this is typically the bee box quality that is being sold or that is also being provided to the beekeeper out there. Correct. At scale, what we are solving here are two things: is providing good houses to bees. Correct. If you don't have good houses for humans, of course, the survival rate is difficult. It's the same with bees. Bees are the pollinators. It is the backbone of the food security. Correct. We quickly realized that the first year of our operations in a pristine, forest of Meghalaya, right, where the AQI, everything's beautiful, but the bees are not surviving. We had a colony. It's something called as colony collapse disorder, CCD. Out of 50, only 10 survived by the end of the year, and we quickly looked at the problems that it was typically these poor quality bee boxes being built by non-regulated carpenters who are not aware or not been trained what a bee box should be. We took this up very seriously because we wanted to scale in the honey. We are a brand which is in the honey value chain for the last 10 years. But how do we scale when we are not able to achieve a 1-ton minimum of honey, out of which, let's say, my neighborhood beekeeper is adding just full of sugar, right? So manipulation of honey is a very old thing. I mean, everybody is aware that India contributes majority to the adulteration of honey, right? How do we achieve traceability if you don't have traceability in your bee boxes, right? We took this matter personally. I personally looked into what exactly can be done, right? We got into manufacturing our own bee boxes. What you look at is a patented solution. It's an all-weathered bamboo bee box. We took bamboos from the regions of Northeast, heavily regenerative plant. It's one of the most regenerative plant, bamboo. Correct. It's an all-weather bee box. It's called Aerohex 8. Why Aerohex 8? It has ventilators, right? As you can see over there. The bees get more space to breathe. Correct. there are more than 2,000 bees in a single bee box, correct? And if the beekeeper does not split the bee box, they are typically going to get collapsed. A bee box is a modern bee box which a man or a woman or any beekeeper out there manipulates for his honey production, correct? So going down to the source, we realized that bee box is one of the most challenging thing, and let's build it right from the scratch. And this is one of our product that we have built in with Telangana Works as a prototyping partner. And this is a complete end-to-end CNC engineered product, right? What you look at is two options here. One is which is built with bamboo, and the other one is a finger-jointed bee boxes. Now, let me explain you why finger-jointed bee boxes, which I showed you previously. We don't have finger-jointed bee boxes at all in the Indian ecosystem. We are talking about hornets. We're talking about mites, insects which come and literally, or lizards. These are some common foreign insects which actually enter the beehive and collapse the colony. CNC engineered or modern bee boxes like these are typically created to safeguard the bees. As a brand, we are also a conservation brand for bees, and we do Apis cerana. There are multiple types of bees. The industrial bees is called Apis mellifera. We deal, since we are located in Northeast, we handle Apis cerana. In Northeast, there is a strict reservation. You cannot introduce, industrious bees to the region, because that is a foreign bee and which definitely endangers the Southeast Asian Indian bees. So year two, we built, we've gone knocked out to the private institutions. We are very fortunate and grateful to institutes like IHFC, IIT Delhi, NSRCL, Bangalore, who's funded our vision, who's believed in us, and we've built in a couple of prototypes. We are still a company research in motion for our beehives. And typically what we are doing is knocking at all the private institutes and doing institutional deployments. We also have an upcoming meeting with the Central Bee Training Research Institute of India, which is under the ambit of National Bee Board, the next week in Pune, where we're going to be doing demonstration. Now, that's being said, it's with a bee box. Let me take you quickly to the automation part. Like our friends here who are also into the IoT domain, why do we leave bees or beekeeping behind with IoT? It's the most neglected sector, and the most sector a beekeeper typically at scale rejects to inspect his bee boxes. If you have 100 bee boxes, everything is predicted. All right. If your farm is 35 to 40 kilometers away, I typically, if I'm staying in Shillong, my farm is 35 kilometers down. I have to write down every 2 weeks to check if there is a hornet inside my bee box, or is my bees really there? Are my bees laying eggs? How is the pollen collectivity? Now, I would like to inform that the West has moved on. They have got automation in bee boxes. They've improved their bee or their honey quality. If you don't bring in technology, again, a 150-year-old problem, it's too late, right? So we take this as a personal, and as a beekeeper myself, who takes care of more than 100 bee boxes, it's very difficult to have a manual inspection done out there. And if you're a commercial beekeeper, the government of India has more than 13 lakh beekeepers registered. The mecca of beekeeping in India is in UP, where large holding farmers hold close to 1,000 to 2,000 bee boxes, correct? So what if I tell you that if one or two beekeepers are managing that, and what if I tell you that beekeepers today are just pouring a whole bucket full of sugar because there's lack of good flowers out there, or let's say there's a lot of heavily fertilized crops out there of flowers, bees are dying, correct? So we bought an IoT, of course. This is our retrofit model, right? And it's a typically made in-house. We use 3D printer and injecting molding as one of the tools to achieve the enclosures. What we typically do is calibrate this to an existing bee box or use it in our own bee box. And we measure scales which a normal beekeeper would do. Check the temperature, check the humidity, check the moisture levels, and of course the main part, which is check the weight of my bee box. The weight of the bee box can be a biomass of the bees, which shows me a good stealth and the health of the bee box, and at the same time it shows me the measure of the honey that I'm collecting over the period of time. So this is the solution which we have bought in. It's a pretty straight up IoT model, like any other automation which works out there. We plug this in an existing bee box for the government of India. In their bee box, it's a complete end-to-end B2G or a B2B solution. So we don't want to push this on a farmer or a beekeeper. We want to drive this through FPOs, through institutional deployments, and currently we are doing so. Having said that, it's an end-to-end green solution, completely powered by solar panel, and we are looking at creating this solution sitting here from India. And fortunate to share that we have touch points with countries like UAE and South Africa, who are very excited to see solutions like these from our end, typically for the apiculture industry. I just want to leave this with a note that food security is quite vital, and if bees are not taken seriously by the farming community, then export or as a commodity for honey is a questionable thing. I'm open for questions.
Yesterday there was one accident in North India. So about one cricket team, the bees were expelled out, and when two cricket players and one umpire died because of the bees. So
Okay.
can you relate something related to how this type of things can be avoided? We lost 3 players out of this.
I really
The question was honeybee.
Right.
So that's why I'm relating the things, nothing else.
I mean, if there is, we've had a history say that human conflict with wildlife has always had the opposite reaction, right? I'm sure if you all are not following, just a fresh news 2 days ago, the National Highway Authority of India is creating a bee corridor in India. That actually excites me as well, but I'm very surprised that how are bees going to coexist with national with so much of movement, right? The thought is very amazing, right? We need to have a coexistence, but bees are very pridey. They're a very different creature, right? They have a I'm so sorry the players lost their lives. They have a photogenic memories. Probably the players should have spent more time with them.
I would oblige if you can a little describe उनका psychological behavior क्या होता है bees का.
हाँ, तो जो बीज मैं जिसके साथ काम करता हूँ वो छोटे बीज है, एपिस सेरिना है, देसी बीज है. हाउ यू ट्रीट योर पेट्स, और आप आपके पेट्स रहेंगे घर पे, डॉग और कैट, यू ट्रीट देम, यू गिव देम फूड. आई डू दैट. मैं ना उनको बनाना खिलाता हूँ, पोलन देता हूँ, हनी खिलाता हूँ. दैट अवॉइड्स मी गेटिंग स्टिंग or getting stung by, because they have a photogenic memory. They see you, right? That's one of the best ways. But if you are not getting stung by a bee, then I think it's very hard to be qualified as a beekeeper. I'm still a learner. For me, to create solutions is what I do, and to scale it with the right medium and not go. I mean, we started from we believe in bottom to top approach. We started as a brand, and then we are moving towards research. So bees, like I said, is commercially very important. We are pushing the government of India to take up urban pollination programs where, let's say, a Taj or a house would have at least 1 or 2 bee boxes, which you can see a good urban pollination kind of thing. Yeah.
Hi, I have a question.
Sure.
Of course, it's a very interesting product. Thanks. And what I would like to understand is, obviously, bees are so important for the ecosystem, right? And they are like dying as far as what, a lot of reports say because of climate change and everything. So as you have rightly mentioned, that bees obviously depend on the flowers and everything, whatever is there in their ecosystem, right? Are they getting the pesticide free flowers, or like how do you sort of ensure that environment, because the product in itself is great, but bees also need to depend on the whatever, like it's there in the natural environment. Absolutely. You're very true. That's what. So we have our own pre-study. Like I said, the 50 bee boxes that we took, and the video that you're looking at is in Meghalaya, right? So if you can see the farmland, right,
this is probably the best place for any beekeeper. I mean, there's no industrialization, no human conflict in this area, right? But then we've had colony collapse disorder. The reason being because the practice is done, right? Let's leave the fertilizers because that is going to be there, right? A bee like this travels close to about 2 to 3 kilometers for its food. The bigger bees travels beyond 5 kilometers, right? But if your radius in where your bee boxes are, and you're trying to keep it as natural and organic with your crops and your flowers, that the surviving rate is going to be far better. The mortality rate is going to be far, competitive. But at the same time, the environment really matters, right?
May I just ask, just curiosity. So
Sure.
you said it's like near Shillong, you said? So is
Yeah,
it in the
Riboy.
Riboy district?
Riboy, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because there are a lot of bee...
Absolutely,
like,
absolutely. Yeah, sure.
honey,
So those are, I mean, I've heard of those honeys. Those are infusions, sir. Yeah, I mean, the saffron honey probably would have a very few. I mean, the jamun honey also, I'm sure you've heard of it. But these are infusions after, or like the post processing or post harvest, they're infused manually, right? So what we do is wildflower honey and then a single estate pineapple honey.
How do you recognize a good quality honey?
Very good question. You need to look at the moisture levels. You also got to look at the fructose to glucose and the glucose to fructose levels.
BIS method is there.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, congratulations on the work. It's amazing. We need to restore bees.
Thank you,
But
ma'am.
I wanted to ask, what is the area coverage of a farm? Like, how would you recommend how many bee boxes per acre of land? And my second question was that, what is the patent for? What is the value add in your bee box? Is it the aeration or anything else?
For our bee boxes, that the Aero Hex 8 is typically built based on the experiences of the limitations the growth of the colony gets. A lot of beekeepers are failing there. They are just, I mean, again, the commercial beekeeper is very different than a farmer who's getting a bee box by the government, right? So he may get 1 or 2 bee box, but he's not ethically practicing it because by the end of the harvest, he just wants to sell that bee honey in the mandi, right? For us, we're looking at pushing the decision makers in the Indian beekeeping industry to change the way the bee boxes, number one, is looked at, right? Because the queen bee lays, more than 1,000 eggs, right? Plus you have a 2,000 strong head colony, correct? And then we have a foraging or the forge kind of a process. If the beekeeper does not split that, correct, it is bound to happen. The bees are suffering inside. If you don't give a ventilation, we are giving a ventilation, right? The natural process for a bee is to fan and cool things down. They fan the entire colony, and fun fact is also that 90% of the colony is female oriented, female bees, right? So the worker bees is all females, and the male bees are just meant for reproductive thing. So our patent is for the technology, and at the same time it is for the bee box, which is crafted using different materials like pine wood and bamboo.
How much would you recommend one box?
Sorry. Yeah, so 1 acre, ma'am, I would say this the photo that you see here, we installed 50 bee boxes in 3 acres spread across. So I mean, it's pretty decent. On 1 acre, you can still do 5 to 10. That's not a problem. Thank you so much. Absolutely, it has a huge potential. We've always tried to touch base on the export or the local. We were selling in more than 110 retail stores. We were permanent vendors for JW Marriott and. Yeah.
Hello, sir. People pet dog, cats. So any household person can pet these bees in his house or bungalow.
Why not, sir? Why not?
But required permission for the sir says the hazardous sometime happens.
You have to contact your local, or there's always a local
We should take a
forest
permission.
official or an agriculturist or a beekeeper. But I think it's legal. It is totally legal.
Okay.
Totally.
Thank you.
Legal. Thank you. Thank you so much,
Hello.
everybody.
One
Hello.
more
Hello.
one more question.
Ma'am, I'll meet you offline.
हॅलो, ते वसाहत जर लावली आहे तर त्या वसाहतीला काही कीटकनाशक मारलेले असतात शेतकऱ्यांनी,
कीटकनाशक किंवा काय पेस्टिसाईड, तर त्याचा काय परिणाम होतो का त्या वसाहतीवर?
सर परत विचारा ना सर, सॉरी. मी नॉर्थ ईस्टमध्ये 10 वर्षावरून माझा मराठी गेला आहे, टॉस झाला आहे.
वो उसका बॉक्स लगाया है खेती में, मान लीजिए कि, और वो फार्मर्स ने उसको ऊपर तणनाशक किंवा आपले हे मारलेले पेस्टि,
हां हां हां,
तर त्याचा काय
pesticide
परिणाम
मारा.
होतो?
हां, हां.
त्याचा काय परिणाम होतो का त्या वसाहतीवर?
हाँ होना ना सर, सब मर जाएंगे.
वो तो असा आता सध्या असा कोणता फार्मर नाही की ते मारत नाहीये.
Srujan, Kotum, director from A Red Mountains Soil Private Limited.